Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Millcreek City Council meeting. It is Monday, March 9th, 2026. The time is 7:02 p.m., and we are here in our community forum. For those of you who are able, will you please rise and join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We are so happy tonight to have our very first State of the Youth address given by our own Millcreek Youth City Council Mayor Heidi Jackson. We are going to mix things up a little bit, and the City Council will sit down here, and we'll let the Youth Council come up here. But before we begin, I just want to recognize some guests who are joining us here this evening. We have our Granite School District Superintendent Ben Horsley here, Skyline High School Principal Rob McDaniels. Thank you. Natalie Pulsifer, who's the Community School Coordinator for Moss Elementary. Hi, Natalie. And Edward Lopez with Promise South Salt Lake. Thank you all for coming to support our youth as this is kind of a monumental first address. So we will go down there and Mayor Jackson, no relation, though I would take her as a daughter any day, but we will let you.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Heidi Jackson and I am the Millcreek City Youth Council Mayor. I'm speaking today to not only represent our 25-membered Youth Council, but for all the youth in our city and local community. Having a voice matters, and I want the youth in Millcreek to know theirs matters too. Our Youth Council is a diverse group of leaders made up of high school juniors and seniors representing 5 local high schools. These include the Academy for Math, Engineering, and Science, or AIMS, Olympus High School, East High School, Cottonwood High School, and Skyline High School. Our mission is to teach Millcreek youth about municipal government, support them in educational pathways, and provide opportunities for community service. This year, we have been busy doing just that. Here's an overview of what the Youth Council has been doing this year. Before the year started, we supported the residents of the Willow Glen apartment fire by organizing the donations that were received for them. We also helped with the bike rodeo event held at James E. Moss Elementary, a Title I school in Millcreek. We also taught bike and road safety to the kids by helping them go through an obstacle course and understanding road signs. After the school year started, we officially got sworn in by the City Council, helped with Churchill Junior High's 60th anniversary, participated in 9/11 Day of Service and Welcoming Week. We organized and carried out a Halloween costume drive for kids at James E. Moss Elementary, bought and supplied winter clothing for 24 families with kids in after-school programs in Millcreek at William Penn, Utah International School, and Olympus High School. We did an activity with William Penn Elementary student government and participated in Local Officials Day. Attending our state's annual Local Officials Day was a highlight for a lot of us this year and in years past, because we were able to spend the day at the state capitol and the Salt Palace with other youth councils in the state to network, learn, take part in a mock trial, hear from our governor, Governor Cox, and other local leaders about how we can use our voices and be involved in public policy. This year, we also heard from many speakers, including our previous mayor, Jeff Silverstreeny, current Mayor Sherry Jackson, experts in the STEM and environmental workforce, a mental health professional, and FAFSA advisors from University of Utah, our city manager, Mike Winder, Senator Nate Bluen, as well as our city council members, Sylvia Catton, Bev Weepy, Tom DeSiren, and Nicole Handy. We are currently working with the South Salt Lake Youth Council on a teen resource drive to support teens experiencing homelessness who are staying at the Finch location in South Salt Lake. Both of our youth councils care about the topic of wanting to help people experiencing homelessness, and we thought it would be a great idea to work on a project together to help people in our communities, especially teenagers. We have done so much this year and are proud of what we have accomplished, including receiving the Best of State Award for Best Youth Group last June and a Champion of Connection and Mental Health in our Community Award from Project Connection. Before we joined Youth Council, we might have viewed Millcreek as just the place we lived and went to school. After taking initiative and getting involved in our community, we now know how amazing and strong it is and how it is growing. We see the unity that it's building and creating a positive impact on each of us. One youth council member recently shared that before joining, they didn't think our city leaders even knew what a high schooler's day looked like. After building relationships with them, that feeling has shifted. We are so grateful for Sherry Jackson and our city council members for taking the time to listen to us and get to know who we are. We are learning to use our voices, and the more we practice, the louder we get. Now that I have talked about our youth council, I want to transition into what the youth in Millcreek want to say. To truly represent Millcreek youth, instead of making assumptions, our council conducted a survey to find out what mattered to them. What we found was fascinating. First, burnout, phones, and school schedules. The survey showed that screen time and sleep deprivation are at crisis levels, with the most answering they spend an average of 4 to 7 hours a day on screens. It's easy to tell a teenager to put the phone down, but the data shows this is tied to school schedules that don't align with our biology and a digital world that never sleeps. Olympus High School has had great success with their flex time schedule, allowing students around 25 minutes of time to take tests and work with their teachers during the day instead of before or after school. Positive feedback from students on and off youth council, as well as teachers and faculty, show us this is a good use of time, helping teachers and bringing grades up. This time is being used for different club meetings and activities, so transportation is less of an issue after school. Our survey showed that 88% support bringing this to all of our high schools. Second, safety. While many responded they feel safe in Millcreek, there were several who answered no to this question regarding immigration and gun violence. In a city as diverse as ours, many of our peers fear for their families or their own status. In Utah, firearms were the second leading cause of death among young people ages 1 to 17 in 2023. If a portion of our youth don't feel safe in our community and at our schools, then this safety in Millcreek isn't a finished job yet. Third, the Great Salt Lake. This environmental problem affecting our wildlife and air quality has not yet found a solution. If nothing changes, it is expected to dry up in about 5 years. As it dries, we will be exposed to toxic airborne chemicals, which will negatively affect our health and the wildlife around us. We need to work to conserve water and manage it long-term to save our lake and the health of Millcreek residents. Fourth, homelessness and affordable housing. We see the struggle on our streets and want to be a part of the solution. In Utah, 22% of people experiencing homelessness in 2022 were under the age of 18. No one should have to experience homelessness, especially teenagers. We want to be homeowners one day and be able to afford the cost of living that is currently so high. Lowering inflation and creating incentives for affordable housing will get us to a point where we can be able to thrive in our city. Last and most striking takeaway, the youth do not feel like they have a say in our schools, city, and community policies. One solution for this in schools is having student panels where students get to share with teachers and faculty what is or is not helping them learn. In Millcreek, 32% in our survey said they don't feel like they have a voice as a youth, while 28% were neutral. This is partly because they feel disconnected and simply don't know enough about how our system works. We need to advance our civics education for youth and continue to improve on their sense of belonging in our city. To those who want to use their voice, here is a list of ways you can learn more and speak out, because you do have a say and opinions that are worth listening to. First, the Millcreek City website is a great way to learn about what's going on in our city policies and what community events are taking place. Attending community events helps you engage and get to know more people who also live in Millcreek. Millcreek Common always has fun, different events going on and has activities available like roller skating, ice skating, climbing, and soon mini golf and a skate park. This is a great place to be with friends and make connections. Next, reaching out to city or state officials through text, call, or email. Their information is all public, and they value and want to listen to the youth's opinions. Our youth council and advisor, Christy Perajuli, also want to hear your concerns and are a good resource for teens in Millcreek. Filling out our annual survey on our social media platform is an easy way to do this every year. Also on our youth council, every high school represented has a school liaison to relay information so they can be a good resource to you. So what is the state of the youth in Millcreek? We are engaged, motivated, and filled with untapped potential. We are a generation that cares about our future and is ready to work to make it the best it can be. Our youth council is committed to being a voice for Millcreek youth. We are working to make sure that what we need for our future is incorporated into policy in this room. Because the state of the youth in Millcreek isn't just about today, it's about the future we are building together. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Aren't we in good hands? We have such wonderful youth. Thank you, Heidi. You did a great job. What do you want to do? Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for coming to support our youth council. They are so amazing, and we appreciate them taking the time to put that together. Okay, we will now turn the time over for public comment. Is there anyone in attendance who would like to address the council? Please state your name for the record. Is the green light on?
There you go.
There.
Good evening. My name is Andrei Tarasov. I'm a veterinarian, the owner of Olympus Cove Veterinary Clinic. Some of you know I recently moved my clinic, and I'm here to get my frustrations with the city on the record. So I've been the owner of the clinic for 10 years. The clinic been in the community for 36 years. I wanted to keep it in Millcreek. You know that a lot of vacant commercial properties around. I found property within Millcreek boundaries, and I really wanted to invest into it and stay here because most of my clients are here too. The communication with the city is very frustrating, causing a lot of delays. If you ask two employees the same questions, you get the same question, you get three opinions. And God forbid you have to have two departments involved. Because I have emails where one department will tell me directions how to do something, I'll do it that way, and the couple of weeks later, another department will tell me that I have done it incorrectly. I think online permit system is not working. There are many instances where my permits or communication from the city did not go through to me, but then I will get other people's inspection reports too. Honestly, initially I thought that my project might be just more complicated than an average, but I've heard from several contractors that they don't want to bid on the jobs within Millcreek boundaries. And honestly, I hear from the council that you're all about city growth, but you cannot say about city growth and be a major bottleneck at the same time. I think very much, yeah, just I want you to be more, I want the city to be more small business friendly and communicate with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Andre. And I think we've been in touch via email, Andre. Yeah. I know Jim is also here, so you two have also been in touch. Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who'd like to make comment? Is there anyone online, Elise? Okay, no one else. We will close public comment. And item 2.1, public hearing to consider a monetary contribution for Canyon Room Citizens Association for the Canyon Room Cares event.
Motion to open public hearing to
Is there-
consider. Oh,
Is there anybody who's presenting on this? Well, I can.
okay.
So,
I think maybe Mike was going.
yeah,
but
I think so too, but
it's
I'm
stuck.
happy to do this. So, as many of you know, the Canyon Room Cares event, I think this will be the 7th year or 8th year for Canyon Room Cares. It's an event organized by Canyon Room resident Nate Gibby. It's usually towards the mid to end of July, and it's a great public service opportunity for service projects that benefit the local community and some even state and larger organizations. But it pulls together hundreds of volunteers to actually do the work of the service project. And Nate does an incredible job of organizing it, of getting other donors. Millcreek is not the only supporter of this event. He gets a lot of corporate donors and things to help fund. So I know in the past they've done literacy kits for second graders in Granite School District. They've done pre-kindergarten preparation kits. They've done things for the Malihe Free Clinic, for the Sammy Center, other nonprofit organizations within Mill Creek. And so he's just looking for a contribution to help both with the advertising. They do brochures, advertising, and just getting volunteers and getting projects lined up. And so I think it's a worthy cause. He's very good at reporting and letting us know kind of the financial back end of things, what he spent money on, and accounting for the money that he receives from us. So I think, in my opinion, I think it's a good, worthy cause that is beneficial for our community to support. So, want a public hearing?
Okay, motion to open the public hearing to consider a monetary contribution of up to $6,000 to the Canyon Room Citizens Association for the Canyon Room Cares event.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Bev, second by Tom. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, is there anybody here that would like to speak or address us about this item? Is there anyone online? No? Okay.
Motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay. Item 2.2.
I'd move that we approve ordinance 26-09, approving a monetary contribution of up to $6,000 to the Canyon Rim Citizens Association for the Canyon Rim Cares event.
I second that.
Motion by Tom, seconded by Nicole. Roll call vote.
Councilmember Desirant,
Aye.
Councilmember Handy,
Aye.
Councilmember Wiebe,
Aye.
Councilmember Catton,
Aye.
Mayor Jackson.
Aye. Okay, motion carries. Thank you, council. Now we'll turn the time over to Carlos for item 3.1.
All right, good evening, everybody. I'm Carlos Estudillo, one of the planners here, and I do have a rezone application for you. This is a very recent application. Basically, what we have here is a property at 1575 East Millcreek Way, which currently belongs in the R110 zone, the residential single family. Over the past years, there have been a series of law consolidations that turn into subdivision amendments. Again, basically an effort from to consolidate area land from the properties north of 1575. In 2021, we had a subdivision amendment between this property 1575 and 1624 East Maple Way, which consolidated basically this amount of land, which equals to about, if I'm not mistaken, it was it was about 4,000 feet of land that was acquired from 1626 Maple Way into 1575 East Maple Way, or sorry, Mill Creek Way. Again, this happened in 2021. So we have an instance where land from another property became consolidated into this new property. However, the property to which it take its land from is zone R16. And so we are in the case where the consolidated land that came into 1575 East Mill Creek Way is R16 being again consolidated into an R110. Moving down in time, last year, a lot consolidation effort, which turned into a subdivision amendment, basically created or consolidated about 3,600 square feet of land from 1626 East Maple Way into 1575 East Mill Creek Way. So we have two instances where two consolidations from an R16 lot are coming into an R110 lot. As per our requirements on over the subdivision code or ordinance, basically we have to make sure that all that a lot, a singular lot, in this case 1575 East Mill Creek Way, must be under one singular zone. And so basically the ask that we're doing here today is to rezone the areas that were consolidated in the past from the R16, which is the root zone of the properties to which they were consolidated from, into an R110, which is the zone to which these consolidated parcels would now be part of. So it's a very general cleanup job that it's kickstarted by our subdivision ordinances. Basically, nothing will change other than the fact that this land will now be part of 1575 East Mill Creek Way. The land use designation will remain the same. The use will remain the same, residential single family. And again, the setbacks or the special requirements on these specific portions to be consolidated into 1575 East will be as per the R110 zone, which is the zone that they are going into. So there isn't really much to conclude other than the fact that this would meet our subdivision code and our zoning code. Again, the zone changes intention is just to clean up these portions of land after the subdivision amendments for these lot consolidations. We haven't identified any detrimental effects on this application. Again, the proposal will continue to be will need to be compliant to all other requirements of our Mill Creek Code. And with that being said, we took this through a series of public meetings. And we had our, as per every recent application, we go through an open house meeting, and where basically the only comments that we had were in regards to how the rear yard setbacks will function, just due to how, how these lots face other rear yards. Basically, again, the question is that this will follow rear yard setbacks as per the R110 zone. So it'll be fairly similar to how they would have applied under their respected lots. And so that was basically all of the commentary that we had in our open houses. We had some commentaries from our community councils, specifically East Mill Creek, which basically was curious about the reasoning behind this development. Although they found no objection, they did again ask about what essentially would be the special requirements, which was clarified through the Planning Commission meeting and now in this meeting. This was then taken to the Planning Commission just this past month, February 18th of 2026, to which the Planning Commission just moved to recommend approval of this application, to which the motion passed unanimously. So, it went through all of the stages of public comment. No public comment was really given other than curiosity in regards to special requirements. And with that being said, staff recommends the City Council to approve application CM 26002 as presented, unless these findings or new facts are presented, which will warrant further investigation by staff. Thank you.
Thank you, Carlos. Does anyone have questions for Carlos?
No, that makes sense.
We've seen this presented
Solid
before.
questions, yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions?
No
The
question.
property owner here, developer?
The applicant is present.
Applicant is here. Do any of you have questions for applicant? No? Okay, thank you. And we're not voting on anything tonight, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right, thank you. That makes sense. And we appreciate you going through the public process and doing the open houses and involving our community. Thanks. Okay, we will now turn the time over to our City Attorney, John Brems, and Jim Hardy, our Building Services Director, to talk about changes to our parking ordinance.
Good evening, Council. The administration, and supported by the UPD, requested that we make parking ordinances civil violations rather than criminal violations. So that will then take them out of the jurisdiction of our justice court and bring them into our jurisdiction. So in doing that, we have to create basically a hearing process. So let me just go through this. I think we gave you a draft. So let me just go through the draft and highlight some things and get some directions from you. And we did have some comments from Mayor Jeff Silverstrini, made a couple suggestions, and I'll raise those when I'm here. So the first one is 1120.030. And Jeff thought it would be better if we included something, including but not limited to time limitations, which is fine. And then he was also concerned that we might want to list out all the parking violations. So as soon as we start doing that, we're going to miss one. But
So can we say list them to include, say something like that? Is there some language that can be a little more open-ended, but not limited to?
we
Yeah.
can, but if it's not specifically in there, they're going to argue, well, it's not prohibited. Now, what we could do is, what I have done in this ordinance is I adopted the state parking statute by reference, so to speak. So if it's a violation of the state statute, it's a violation of this.
Okay.
But I can go through and summarize those and put those all in here if that's something.
Your
you want.
recommendation is that that's maybe not.
It's probably a Jim question. He had a concern that you might not be able to keep track of all the violations.
If we keep it generalized, then it's kind of hard to enforce, right? Except for a specific violation, then it's easier to go out and enforce. John, are we talking about these prohibited specified areas? Because we do have a list of.
Well, we have a list. He just wants more of them.
He wants more of them.
Yeah.
I will say that in reviewing the report of concern portal and the concerns that we get from residents,
Can you talk in the mic a little bit more?
I'm
Yes,
sorry.
Thank you.
in reviewing the report of concern portal and reviewing the concerns that residents have with parking, the list that we currently have takes care of about 95% of everything. Some of the concerns that they do have are very minimal, parking in front of a driveway or parking in front of a mailbox, and they're very few and far between. So to maybe write an ordinance that specifically addresses one concern or two concerns a year may not be the best option at this point. It's my personal
May I ask a
recommendation.
clarifying question about that? Only because we had a few of those parking issues along Laurel Crest and along Birch near Skyline. So I know the police officers actually submitted those citations. Are we saying we're taking all of those citations in-house?
Yes.
Make them civil.
Okay.
yes.
Yes.
Civil.
So we'll have to, we've already got an ALJ lined up. The guy that does our code violations will do that. May need another employee, and that's in Jim's budget. But
For parking enforcement.
yes.
Would code enforcement be able to write tickets as well, or is that?
Yeah, so by making this civil, it just brings it into where our code enforcement inspectors can do that. Now, we feel that in order to make this program really take off and run well, we want a dedicated employee. But all of our code inspectors will be able to still write tickets. Even UPD officers will still be able to do that. They'll just do it under our civil program.
Okay.
So second page, if you look at 1120 or 050, I got to fix that. There's the violations that we were talking about. On a portion of a sidewalk in front of 5 feet of a driveway. I got all those listed. If you want to make them more specific, I can add more to them.
But for that 5%, are you saying leaving it broadly so someone could still get a ticket for it? Or you're
won't-
saying then
they
we won't
won't-
worry about those tickets?
They won't get a ticket. If it's not listed, they're not going to, they might get a ticket, but their arguments can be, well, it's not
It's not
prohibited.
listed. Yeah.
Now, well, we can add a couple here to fix up some of the things like maybe time parking, sign violations, et cetera.
So do you feel like this would cover the concern raised by our involved citizen who gave us public comment? Not public comment, who gave us comment?
I will discuss it with him.
Okay.
What I would probably make some sense, and I think his concern is if you turn back to 1120-030, the city engineer can place signs and on his own basically create parking ordinances.
And that's a concern?
That's, well, the concern is who's going to keep track of all those?
Oh, well, hopefully we will.
Yeah, hopefully we will.
Yeah. And I guess we need to then determine what's our mechanism for keeping track of all.
So what I would recommend is we add one of the provision, I don't even know if it's in here, I have to read them, but if it's in violation of a posted sign.
Just a clarification on the .20.30, where it is listed the engineer, sorry, Kurt, can you come down? There you go. The city engineer may place signs. I don't know if it needs any clarification, but John Miller doesn't just go and put signs up because
May
people,
cause place the sign.
the whole may, yes.
Good catch. Yeah, otherwise he's got to go out and do it. And he
Where
goes,
else?
Yeah,
Yeah.
John Miller's got a new job.
Yeah.
There's your man.
Curtis, bro.
My new employee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or may, doesn't, yeah,
Because I know he does it when, I mean, it is not just a sole man show. It's not a one-man show. He has to see what is compliant with,
Well, yeah,
regulations and all
we
of
got
that.
some
but
standards in here. and,
Yes, the standards.
the owner of that,
But I didn't know how to, like, not make him the sole, not the sole owner of being the sign.
well, he's the sign Nazi.
would you say may authorize the placement of signs? Or how would you say?
May cause signs, I think just cause them instead of place. May cause signs to be placed, something like that. Isn't that what your concern was,
Yes.
Deb?
Cause signs sounds kind of weird, but cause signs. to
Oh,
be
we'll
placed.
fix it.
I know, you're a good writer.
He really might enjoy it, that crown, if we gave him that, because he'd probably put up signs he doesn't want.
He's the sign guy.
Yeah.
What other concerns were there that were raised? Do you have?
By him, none.
Okay.
There also needs to be a policy discussion on amounts. There's some blanks in
Oh,
this
yeah.
draft.
Yes.
We're
But
not
you'll
that
get
far
there.
yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some of these things are in our current code, but meeting today with Jim, he says, well, do we really do this? And for example, 070, approaching a parking space. Have we ever given a ticket for that? Don't know.
I've thought about it about 4 times since I read it, though. I was like, I'm approaching and not leaving. Never mind. The flow of traffic in the
Yeah.
parking lot.
So it's like, who's
No
going
one's
to
gotten a
monitor
ticket.
the cars that are waiting to park? And
Exactly.
say, oh, wait, they were here first. Yeah.
It's there in case we need it for
I
something.
guess if
If there's an accident, this then
Oh, it
creates.
could be the
who-
coverage
who's
for
at fault.
insurance, yeah. Okay.
if there's a witness, because I'm sure you'll get 2 different stories from 2 different drivers.
Probably. Then in 170
Police do.
is where we make it civil. There's everybody decriminalize those violations. They're civil. And then civil and continuing violation. And this is in B under 180 is where I adopt by word reference the Utah code. The Utah code's got about 50 parking violations in it, maybe even 100 for all I know. Then we had to create the hearing officer. That's 190, and the notice of violation. Jim's been working on that, so we're going to tinker with this language a little bit. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, I'd like to hand out what I've currently kind of have drafted.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
This will just be placed under a windshield wiper kind of thing?
Yes.
Yeah, so this currently has, all the information at the top right here, what's required to be on the violation. It'll be the back, but below there is all kind of the standard disclaimer information that we have to have. If you were to fold it in half, this is kind of what it's going to look like. It's actually going to be half a page.
Okay.
And then this would either be placed right under the windshield as it is, or if there's rain or snow or some type of weather, we're going to have some plastic sleeves so they don't get damaged, just in case it has to sit there for a few hours.
Now, the one thing Jim and I have kind of been wrestling about is sub A, the name and address of the person charged with a civil violation. So we can do that, but that would require us to look up every license plate that we write a
And
ticket for.
can we do that? That's a police thing, isn't it? Or we could?
So we can. I currently have it set up to where we have access to the DMV system where we can run a license plate number. There was kind of a vetting process that I had to go through, but we were approved for that, and we do have that up and going. The one part about that is it's $2 for every
Every
time we run it. So there's a little catch there. However, on the other hand, when you have a parking notice that has somebody's name and address, it's definitely more formal. Just thinking if I were to receive something without my name or address, I may not take it that serious.
For sure. So I would
there-
assume that $2 will then be captured with our fine.
With the fine, correct.
I mean, is there any privacy concerns about putting someone's name and address on the windshield of their car?
Not in this situation.
Okay.
With it being approved the way it is, it's actually a parking fine. We're
Yeah,
allowed
okay.
to do that.
Then-
There are some concerns with us storing the information, but we've got that handled on our end through our software and
Yeah.
how we store that.
Councilman, we also have been asked not to put the personal information on our digital district sign. So we won't have that either.
Oh, that's good. Yes. I mean, we could say,
Were we
I don't know.
going to?
Just saying. Just saying.
This week's
if
parking
someone-
fee, no.
No.
Parking violation of the week, no, we're not gonna do that.
Jen Smith, please come in. You're 3 weeks overdue.
Will we be storing information though? So if you've got repeat offenders, does the fine go up?
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
was going to
well,
ask.
we'll-
Repeat
That's
offenders.
a blank
We'll
at
get
this
there.
point. We also have, I have in here that if there's 3 violations and they're not paid, they can be towed.
Oh.
Now, you might want to do 5. You might not want to have the towing.
I think 3's great.
Yeah, I'm also fine with if there's no privacy concern, then yeah, put the name and just, instead of $75, it's $77. Well, I don't know.
Well, just name, I mean, if you put a last name, do you have to put the whole name? I'm just wondering.
Well, I'm trying to think of the last time I got a ticket in Salt Lake City and they didn't put my name and address on it.
I don't remember, not that I've had a parking ticket, but somebody I live with
I
has.
have.
Yeah.
As someone who has found several in a glove box of a child's car from Skyline just recently, it had a name and it made it feel more serious because it had the owner of the car's name as well. So I don't know. It did have it, and it didn't have the address. I can find it, but I think it had the name but not the address.
I mean, I almost think putting the last name and like the street number or the street name as opposed to,
Not so specific.
not so specific,
Yeah,
but
I
it lets
It's
you
like
know
when you
you
go
know
to
who
the
they
doctor's
are.
office, it's kind of abbreviated, their
Yeah,
last 4,
I
your
mean,
social or something.
You know who they are. They know you know who they are, but you're not putting out all of their private
Like
info.
a last name and house number.
Yeah.
kind of
Or
thing.
just
Telephone
last name and
number,
street name.
email address.
And if it is a repeat offender, it also causes reason for, kind of maybe a passive aggressive bullying by calling us constantly, oh, that car is there again. And we saw everyone walks their dogs or walks around the neighborhood.
Oh, like people watching.
Yeah.
People who are watching.
Can I ask Chief Petty Brown, does UPD, when you currently do tickets, do you put name and address on them? Yeah, mother's maiden name.
Firstborn.
Just the name, no address. It's the
No address.
registered owner's name that's on there, obviously, because often
Oh.
when you're doing parking tickets, they're not there. So you
Right.
just run the plate, get the owner's name. Thus,
I'm
like
pretty
you said,
sure.
when you're,
But 3
cars-
doesn't feel like many when you have
Yeah.
a rough week.
yeah.
Very nice, well, sorry.
So
That's what I've heard.
So I do think that we should also, whether it's 3 or 5 for towing, I do think that we should include that on the backside.
Something
way-
on here that.
Yeah, that way, people.
So that they know.
Yeah, that way people know that it's a real thing, and 2, like there's serious repercussions. Because I know a lot of people. From what I've heard, there are a small amount of people who are like the massive over offenders, and I want people to know it's not just going to be racking up parking tickets and fees and not paying them.
What are the qualifications for demonstrating financial inability to pay?
Well, I stuck that in there and it basically
okay.
service.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you got to perform service.
Okay.
And the ALJ is probably going to say, can you pay this? And they'll say, no. Okay,
10 hours, whatever.
10 hours of service. I put that in there as an escape clause. Don't know if you want it.
Well, we can leave it in for now.
Yeah, for now. Just
And
see how
let's
it
see
goes.
what happens,
Okay.
but.
I also think it's nice if, someone comes and says, pleads mercy and, I can't do this. This is going to ruin my I
Well,
won't
the-
be able to buy food for my kids.
Yeah.
And it's fine. Yeah, we
Yeah.
can
Now,
find
the-
something
The
for you.
problem is going to be is administering that.
Yeah, and who monitors them?
Yeah. And
who-
so
yeah.
we thought about maybe just a letter from a tax exempt organization or nonprofit that says this person served this many hours. And it might be from their buddy, but
We're not suggesting they do that.
no, of course not.
You know what? We could just say
Let's just see.
10 hours of volunteer work with Promise Department.
No, 'cause
Promise
we're with
program.
kids, with events, cleaning up after
Yeah,
Independence.
community life. Yeah,
Something to
people
that
common.
effect.
Make,
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
we can
let's
make
see.
Shannon be in charge.
If we can revisit it, I mean, let's see how it goes. If that becomes an issue, then we can take it out.
I actually like that it's an option there. It just gives us
Yeah.
another tool in the toolbox
Mm-hmm.
to work with.
And then now over to 230, the fee. How much you want a parking ticket to be? There's several options. A flat amount, an increased amount for each ticket after one. We did a little, or we had Mike's intern take a quick look at what other cities are doing, and it ranges from
I know.
all over the place.
I think I had one from the U, and I think it was $45 if you paid within
10 days or something.
yeah 10 days, and then it went up to 60, I think. And then if you didn't pay it, they would withhold like your diploma or your transcript. That's what it was. Yeah.
We can't do that,
No.
but
Well, we could talk to the U. Maybe they can do it for us.
So I've left that blank. There's all sorts of those options.
I don't think $25 is enough.
Me
I'll be
neither.
honest.
So
I don't
as you
either.
can see, it's
It'll
pretty
make it
wide
worth it.
range, right?
Yeah,
Of
I
the
think-
amount of fine.
I think
45.
45 seems reasonable.
Yeah.
Now, some of these municipalities do have kind of a sliding scale where,
Depends.
you know, if you pay it within a certain amount of time, it's this amount. I've looked into that with our software, and the fee portion of our software is all manual. So if there's any type of updating on the fees, a staff member has to go in and do that manually.
So if they haven't paid in 10 days, they'd have to go up.
Yeah,
going
so
into
what would end up taking place is if we do have some type of scale like that, a staff member would do the initial fee, 10 days, they'd have to follow up, 30 days, they'd have to follow up
So
again.
every day they're up,
It seems like more
assessing fee.
babysitting.
Yeah, that sounds
the-
like
the
too much
code
work.
case.
It's
Yeah.
a great idea, but I don't think it would.
well, then maybe
with
the
our system.
fee should be $50.
Yeah.
50,
A little bit
50
more.
seems
Nice
a little
rounding.
more like a hit.
Yeah. And
Well,
we don't-
Harriman-
teaches
don't-
them a
Harriman's
lesson.
Harriman has 100.
I like 50.
Well, they say, Conwood Heights says 100 for parking prohibited in specific area, which is interesting because I feel like
I
all
don't know
the
what
parking
difference is.
parking complaints I've gotten is that people park in the bike lane, and that is problematic because if you're a biker, it's actually just really dangerous. So
Oh, that makes sense.
If you look at
I don't know how granular we
P,
want to.
oh no, actually, in a bike lane is one of the violations.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think parking in a bike lane should be more money.
Should be more money? More than 50?
75.
Oh,
I don't know.
give me 3 nods to one number, and I'll stick it in there.
Well,
Yeah, let's
Does
do.
that seem, I mean, how many areas
Well-
do we have bike lanes that people would park in? Along 23rd East?
Do we have bike
Ninth.
lanes on Main? Because Maine is where we get so many complaints. I think that
And do VUNERFs count as bike lanes?
no.
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 Well, people complain about like
And I guess
We'll have them. We'll
30
have one on Wasatch Boulevard.
9th.
Yep.
Which will be protected for part of it at least.
And then
I
I
don't
guess
know.
maybe
think it
what
makes sense.
is the, I guess what is the final draw where this goes to an ALJ after X amount of times they haven't paid? How do the fines
They
accrue?
pay it or they can appeal it to the ALJ. They got to do it within 15 calendar, is it 15 bit? I can't remember. 15 calendar business
Okay.
days. So they got 3 weeks. If they don't, then we'll put them in missed 1, missed 2, missed 3,
Okay,
and tow them, or we'll turn them into a civil violation like we do on code and bring
that's
a
what I was
lawsuit
looking
against them.
for. Okay.
So is the towing only if they haven't paid? Or what if we have somebody who's like, I don't care, I'd rather just pay the $50 and have my parking spot?
Because that does.
It's
And they're a
3
repeat offender.
The way I got it now is it's 3 unpaid, I think. Let me just look.
I think I can answer that one. So it is unpaid. It's basically a default, right? So if a vehicle gets a fine, $50, they pay the fine, that resolves the issue.
Do
and
you
it would
have,
start over
do you
at
have
that point.
concerns that there would be people that were just like flagrant violations and they're paying, but because they don't really care about?
Honestly, not really.
Okay.
Because I think at some point they would get tired of paying the $50.
Well, I
It-
guess
it could
we'll
be
make
daily,
money
it
if
could
they
be
don't.
weekly.
Sure.
And
know,
to me,
we
it
can
makes
address
sense
it
to make
that
the
way.
ticket more expensive so it hurts than tow after 3. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I think you want to do both.
Yeah,
but-
both.
Yeah. But so okay, what if
From what I'm hearing, and I'm just trying to summarize. So we're thinking just your basic parking violation, $50. If they've got 3 unpaid, then you tow. 3 unpaid or 2 unpaid and a third violation.
The third violation.
Third violation, they'd be towed.
Yeah,
And then
I remember my
Three at
question
default.
coming to this. If a car is just left on the side of a road for a couple days while someone's out of town and accidentally in a bike lane, is it like if it's parked on Main and
Each day's a
It'd be
violation.
towed.
each day's a violation, so after 3 days they're towed? Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So are we in
ahead, Nicole.
agreement that we
Well,
have a
I
higher
think I am gonna, when does the 3 violation and tow? Because I mean, our car would have been towed from Skyline, but it's multiple children parking a car. I mean, I know that's not exactly, and that particular instance will be hopefully fixed soon. But I know, I'm sorry, I'm saying in
Are we
real,
monitoring Skyline's parking lot? No.
Not,
those streets
not
though, are all
currently, no,
those
but just
streets
streets.
So
that are being, currently, I think the UPD is giving those.
currently UPD, and in fact, some of the UPD data that we receive, the uptick in ticket violations or citations, a lot of it comes from those streets. So I'll also share with you that both Mayor Silvestrini and I had heard, and Mayor Jackson, I don't know if you're hearing from those on Laurel Crest, but we have heard literally for, 4 years now that the neighbors and the residents are tired of students just completely disregarding parking in driveways, like a foot into the driveway. People can't get in, can't get out, blocking the trash cans. And on the flip side, we hear from parents calling us complaining, like, why are you giving my kid, So we have heard, Chief, I mean, this has been a long drawn out. And so from the residents' perspective and all the things I've heard, and you're also on the parent side of, maybe they're running late, whatever that looks like, they just choose not to go into the spaces to park that have been designated for years. And so I would be a firm, like, yes, $50 a day, 100% tow on the 3rd.
But is that, I'm asking when it resets, when the three
yeah.
resets, because,
Payment.
When it's paid.
oh,
when it's
okay.
paid.
Then I'm sorry, I figured they've all been unpaid, sorry. That's
Paid,
why.
so
as
then
soon
it
as they're
starts all
paid,
over.
then
So
they
if they're
reset.
paid,
But
then
if there are
it's
3
reset.
unpaid, then they're towed.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Is
Uh,
there?
that's
We
okay.
pay, we do
I may
pay.
have
Yeah.
misunderstood you
for
too.
fines.
So
You
I-
find it in the glove box.
and I
Multiple
think-
children,
yeah,
sorry.
I think let's do let's do $52.
52?
52.
Because there's a $2 damn fee.
Well, then it'd be 40,
No,
48
I think
plus 2.
$50 round is fine. And then I would say $100 if they're parking in a bike lane.
I am.
Do you
okay
not,
with
do you
Is
think
that-
that's unreasonable?
and is
John's
that
pulling a
hard?
face.
Is that too hard to?
Do you have to reset the fee for that?
No, so we can do multiple fees
okay.
depending on the violation.
You just don't
It's
want
just
to change it once
updating
it's-
that single fee is what becomes
Oh,
manual.
yeah, like after 10 days.
So we can have a $50 fine for this violation and a $75 fine for that violation. That's fairly simple and easy.
because
to
that's
do
in the
in
setup.
the software.
I'm still thinking about the $100. Chief Petty Brown, do you know what the fine is for parking in a bike lane currently?
I'm sorry, I don't. Yeah, the Justice Court sets that, so I don't. I know probably the highest fine is parking in a handicap stall.
Oh, and do you know how much that is?
I believe it's $250.
250.
Oh,
Yeah.
so we need to set that too.
Yeah.
So I would be
Ouch.
consistent with that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
50, 100, 250. I would
Do you
support.
think 100 for the bike lane is too much?
And I suggest
I
parking
don't.
in a fire lane is maybe a little higher too.
Yeah, parking in fire lane.
Oh, yeah.
That's, yeah.
255.
Fire lane, handicap, 250.
Dang.
I think 100 for
We're
a bike lane
serious
is
about
fine.
our parking.
Is there
Well, and it's been such a big issue, especially on Main, where our staff has had to, like, Jim has had like
Oh, Main
strike
is
teams
really
go
bad.
out and talk to the owners of multiple businesses.
strike teams?
I mean, yeah,
Are they
It's a
wearing
good
all
way to
black?
put it. We
it's-
actually
you
have.
have multiple staff members all go out on a day and talk to owners across up and down it because it's such a
gets really
serious
bad, yeah.
recurring problem. So yes, I think that, I mean, it's been such a massive use of staff
Yes.
time that, you know, this is also, Maine especially, this is like a big up and coming neighborhood. We have multiple projects up and down it. We have the front there. We have
There's
Second
housing coming
Second Sun
online.
Cider, which is hugely popular now. I think that it's needed, and I think that we have to go put some teeth in it.
So will there be signs on, like, in the bike lane periodically that saying no parking in the bike lane, $100 fine?
mean,
Or do people
there
just
are
learn that
some
the hard way?
signs.
I think we could also, I mean, it's our staff who's doing this. I think that we could have some warnings for you know,
Right,
the
the
first
first-
couple weeks that say,
First few months, even.
yeah,
Well, and that's what we're planning on doing.
Yeah.
So the instance that Councilmember DeSigner is talking about is we did a monitor of a business parking lot because residents were parking right in front of the businesses, and then people couldn't come in and shop at the businesses. We monitored that parking lot 3 times a day for 3 weeks, and all we did was warnings. So we're planning on doing the same thing throughout the whole city in these little pockets of areas that we have these issues with. So with your bike lane question, that would be an area that our strike team right now is doing that. We're going down there twice a day and putting our warnings on all of those vehicles.
and I think that it would be good for, you know, the first month or first couple months to have a lot of, you know, warnings that say,
Well,
Mill Creek has instituted, you know, these parking fee fines. We are eligible to carry them out right now, but we're giving you a warning.
we can
because
also
that
put
they're
it in our
new.
newsletter and have.
Yeah, put it in the newsletter.
And even a future date where it's effective, where it gives them at least 60 days notice, and then it's effective July 1st. Let's stick with our fiscal year.
But we're not monitoring handicap parking lots in business parking
No.
lots. We just are monitoring the ones here at the city, and in
could.
our city, we could monitor ones.
Oh, wow.
So then if somebody called, if a private business owner said, hey, there's somebody.
Or a
parked-
resident?
Yeah, there's someone parked in the handicap parking stall at this business. If they called the police, then the police calls the city? Is that how?
That could be. If you want to monitor them, you can.
Chief says
Chief's
no.
saying
but-
I don't
no.
know that I want to do that.
I know,
But
that seems like
if
a
it-
lot of
That
work.
seems like a lot.
If they call us, we would respond.
Oh,
If they call our
okay.
dispatch.
Mayor and council, that
Yes.
there is a revenue reason why it could be advantageous. to
Yeah,
monitor those.
That was my
But there's
question.
also
Wait
a,
for the
a,
FTE.
a belief that you don't want people parking in handicap parking even on private property illegally.
No.
I mean, I think that, I don't know if we need to actively monitor every single privately owned, but if somebody does call in,
Right.
especially if an owner does, I think it makes sense for the city to say, gotcha, understand it's a 5-minute drive for Chase. He can go up and, you know, write a ticket.
Well, that's what we do on code violations, is we respond to complaint.
So my question was, is $50, is there some sort of equation that tells us that $50 is enough to cover all of our expenses and even issuing a citation?
Well, we have not done that study. That would be probably helpful. But
Yeah.
then we'd have to do the study.
Right.
I would suggest to pick something based on what you're kind of seeing from peers are doing and kind of a gut check. But then after a year of this program, we'll stop and evaluate it. And because
Yeah.
it's total guesswork right now to say, hey, we'll
Yeah.
break even at this many tickets, or because we don't know how forgiving the judge will be. We don't know how many.
Well, I don't
Tickets
want
that will
anybody
write.
In the
accusing us
first
of doing
year.
this
Pick a number you're
beforehand.
comfortable with, and we'll come back in a year and tweak it.
Can I ask, we've also got the Grandeur Peak Trailhead parking,
Oh, my gosh.
resident parking
Yes,
only.
We do.
So you've got that covered? Okay.
Okay.
So to kind of give just some basic information, we don't have any specific studies on parking, but we did a building permit study years ago. and a very basic water heater permit that somebody would go out to a house, like one of our inspectors would run out to somebody's house, spend 10 or 15 minutes inspecting a water heater, $100 to cover the city's cost for a very simple water heater inspection. I know that's not exactly
No,
within the
but I
lines,
mean,
but
that's
it gives
probably
you a
around
good
the same
timeline,
time, yeah.
right?
Right. And I don't know if it gets to be, I don't know if the towing or even a boot, because the boot
Well-
has cost too, but the forcing of coming in to make them pay it before
But
Boots,
we,
we
$300,
talked about the boots.
$500.
we thought about a boot,
Over the weekend.
but it's one of those that sounds great,
But it's a
but doesn't work very well because
Okay.
we got to have staff on 24 hours a day to go and do them.
Take
And then we
the
got to
boot
keep
off.
track of them. And
Just a
Yeah,
thought.
I agree.
We thought about it, but just implementation didn't seem
Okay.
feasible.
Because that seems like a whole FTE. That
Sounds like
whole,
that sounds like 2 FTE.
maybe a 1.5.
Sounds
like-
Yeah, we
Pro
would
bono.
rotate on call, and, you know, of course, somebody would call us at 2 a.m. They would not be happy waiting for
Yep.
somebody for 45 minutes to come out. We wouldn't be able to release the boot until the payment's made.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
Too
the logistics
complicated.
of
It's like
that
a
at 2
headache.
a.m. doesn't
No,
sound the
we
greatest.
don't want to deal with that.
Okay. And Chief, did you have something to add to that? I know you stood up.
Yeah, I just want to assure you that I believe this person you're going to hire is going to stay busy, because if I
Their
could
experience.
send one of our traffic cars full-time to do parking violations, but for us, it's very low priority, so
Right.
it's the last thing we get to. And we welcome this because this is going to free up our traffic cars to do actual traffic enforcement, speed enforcement, red light, stop sign, that type of
Yeah.
thing instead of, so, yeah, we really welcome this, and they're going to be busy.
Thank you.
Okay. So is that all the
Is that
direction you
enough
need from
direction?
us?
I just
Is
have
that too much direction?
No, I made notes. Hopefully I got them all. You did raise one issue, and that is parking in front of trash cans. You want to add that as a violation?
And mailboxes?
Yes,
Is it-
please.
Mailboxes is already there.
Well, and then you have snow parking too,
So,
right? Snow
definitely.
plow,
So,
Snow
yeah.
plows, yeah, seasonal. Yeah.
seasonal.
Yes.
So parking in front of trash cans, have students done that at Skyline?
Yes.
Is that why we're hearing about it?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that has to be a
Yeah.
violation.
Because then,
You're
it,
blocking
yeah.
somebody's trash from getting picked
Because
up.
then don't they get a fee if they have to come back now? Parking
Yes.
They
or the trash
no,
people come
no.
back.
There's a fee if you
State
request
statute.
for them to come back.
So you
But
have,
if you're and it's blocked, yeah,
Yes.
Then
So
you
I mean,
have
I just
I don't
wrote it
know.
there.
right?
Yeah, yes and no. Like technically, you are technically no, but
responsible, but-
generally yes. Meaning like I don't know, my trash isn't always full, but I take it out every week. I can live 2 weeks without my trash being picked up. Some people can't, but it's not an automatic $25 fee.
Just
If
if you're requesting that.
it's just if you request it.
Okay.
How would you put that in parameters? If they're parked, because I know there's a proximity where the
We're gonna have
garbage.
to talk to
yeah,
the garbage
to the
district
garbage.
and ask how much space they need.
Yeah,
Because we have, so far from a fire hydrant, and the reason
That
is
might
because that's
be.
where they gotta get their fire truck,
I
fire
think
hose.
they say 4 feet on the cans. but
Yeah,
that's-
that's what I'm saying.
Nicole,
It's like a lot.
what's the limit?
Well, I did.
You're the
oh, Tom.
come on. You're on.
Stop.
I cannot believe you. Tickets won.
whatever we
Now you don't know.
Tom.
Anything
I
else?
mean, my trash can at home says 3 feet clearance on
Yours- I
either
think mine
side,
says 4.
but
We
I
should-
don't live in Mill Creek. so I
Yeah,
don't
let's
know
make
if
a
my-
request to Wooford and see what they say.
Yeah.
Okay?
Is that enough direction?
The
I just
city
wanna-
recorder has a request for section 230 that there be a more specific process or form than just a written request be delivered to the city recorder. That sounds a bit
Oh.
hairy.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's that. Yes.
A post-it note's probably not the most helpful thing, is it? Crayon scrawled on napkin.
Well, I wanted to make it easy. I didn't want to make it like it has to be
Yeah,
double
like-
spaced and.
Well, so
But
would
anyway,
you?
I can-
Yeah, just say noting the what? Because you have on there a violation number, right?
I mean, maybe that's just something that we ask Elise to work
Or
with you
even a
guys on
simple
to figure out
form.
what works for her. Since
You
she
could
has to
even
deal
say
with it.
and deliver to the city recorder by email or U.S. mail.
Actually,
Then
was
it's
it?
just And it comes
Wasn't there a bill just barely in this session that requires certain things to all be digitized, certain forms, like municipal or governmental forms? I swear there was a bill.
there were a few bills.
There
I
were 900
don't
bills,
recall that
so
one.
yeah,
Well, we might
But
wanna
would
check.
a form be easier that if
Say
you
make it
saw the
online.
form, it's like, oh, I know what this means?
Okay.
Yes, because I don't know
this-
if I need to be checking my mailbox or my email
Or a special
There you go.
by the
place,
front
On a form.
office.
I got it. We got it.
an
You got a
online-
form.
If it's by
You'll
Teams
figure
or
it out.
Facebook Messenger.
Yeah, no.
Actually, I really prefer Slack, if that's okay.
Scrutiny.
No, it's going out of business.
Is it?
Is there anything else?
Yeah, there's two more
I
things.
was gonna say, yeah,
Access
Granger.
So the parking program is contained in 1126. So the last thing that you have there ties into 1126 and turns that into a civil violation.
Okay.
But I left the criminal violations because if you're counterfeiting those things, that's probably more than a civil fine. Yeah, I left that as a misdemeanor. And then just above that, 224, that's enforcement on school grounds.
Is there also something in here about, I know one of our codes is like for commercial vehicles. Would that be included in this?
Yes, commercial vehicles is included in here.
Okay.
Parking of commercial vehicles.
Right.
So, Jim, because we were talking about this the other day, is that mean there's going to be tickets for like repeated offenders of commercial vehicles who are parked on residential street?
You know, like semi trucks.
Yeah, we actually handle quite a bit of those right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, if you'll turn to 1120.060, that's parking of trucks and commercial vehicles. I didn't change that at all.
and it's 24 hours, is that correct? Or,
You can park on the street for 24 hours.
Yeah.
okay.
Well, 3 consecutive hours. Restricted.
Oh, a question I had from somebody, a resident, a complaint that I had actually was UPD was ticketing them when their car wasn't there for 24 hours, and they got a ticket for it being there for over 24 hours, and they had asked how there's actually, like, what evidence UPD was actually using, if they were chalking the tires or something like that. What are we going to do? How are we going to determine if a vehicle's been there for more than 24 hours?
So how I envision this is if we receive a complaint through the report of concern, our parking enforcement inspector or a code inspector will go out and verify that there is a violation. They'll take a photograph of the vehicle. They'll put a warning on the vehicle stating that it needs to be moved within 24 hours. The following day, we'll have to go back out there and confirm that it's still there.
Well, I mean, specifically, well, okay, but what if, you know,
It would be
my-
on the timestamp that we would verify it, I would assume.
Yes, but what if somebody parks their car overnight, every night, on the street parking in front of their house? You know, it may look to the inspector that it's there at the same spot every single day, but that's just because
Well-
it's there every single day at that time when they go out.
Okay, so.
Well, no, not that they're
If
parking
they've dri-
illegally.
If they've moved
They're,
their car.
they work nights. Like, here's a hypothetical. They work nights. They stay at home during the day. Every day, their car is parked on legal street parking in front of their home. And, you know, an inspector goes out 2 p.m. one day, sees the car there, goes out 2 p.m. the next day, sees the car there and says, oh, well, it's been there for 24 hours.
Okay, what you have just done is you've established a prima facie case. Then they can come up with defense to overcome that prima facie. So like, think of a speeding ticket. You get a speeding ticket, it's prima facie that you were speeding. But you challenge that by saying, oh, your radar wasn't properly tuned. You got the wrong car. I mean, those are exceptions or,
So if they say, I work nights, I was at the
yeah.
hospital or whatever this night, then it's.
Okay. I just want to make sure we're not, you know,
Well,
writing tickets
That'll
constantly.
take case, that'll be in the appeal.
Okay.
And he'll have to just come and say, hey, I work nights and I moved this at 2 o'clock.
Okay.
Does he overcome the prima facie case? Yeah, that's up for the appeal agent. And knowing our appeal agent, he'll probably let that one go.
Yeah, and that's what I was just going to mention, is that's a prime example of coming into the ALJ and having a discussion then.
I guess, okay, here's another potential issue with this. Happens 3 times and, you know, ALJ takes place once a month. You could get, you know, 20, 30 tickets and your car towed multiple times if you work nights and you park on the street. Couldn't you? Hypothetically?
Towing, you have to have 3 unpaid
Right,
tickets at
so-
default.
Yes, and so you're saying someone parks on 11th East, they work nights, they have to pay $50 a day until they can go to the ALJ?
Well, they have 15 days to either pay it or file an appeal.
Oh, so if you file an appeal, can you just keep violating the law then?
Until your case is
Until
heard?
your
Until your case is heard? Okay,
Yeah, I
So-
think that makes sense.
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
But it's going to be on that ticket or that citation, not future ones. You don't get to, you
It's
have to
not all
appeal.
one, yeah.
I mean, you can't have 100 tickets or 100 violations and appeal number 99 and expect it to cover all 100. It only covers the one you appeal. You have to submit 99 appeals.
Okay.
Hopefully before I
Do you
learn to
know
realize-
And I guess it sounds like some special.
No, I mean, I'm
extenuating
concerned about I'm
circumstances.
concerned about this edge case. Like there are a lot of people who work in healthcare, who work nights, and you know, so my household I'm thinking of specifically as an example. We don't fit in this, but you know, there's 3 vehicles. There's 3 adults who live in a home, a married couple and a single person. And 1 car parks on the street at nights, except when there's snow, then, you know, we cram into the driveway. I'm just thinking of, you know, what could happen if, you know, one of my renters worked at night, and what would happen then? And I'm not concerned about it personally, because I know city staff. But the thing
I
is,
think it would be on a case-by-case
yeah,
basis.
but most people don't, and that's when we get called, and that happens to be, you know, like we all get calls from residents who say, "Oh, staff isn't treating us right, correctly or incorrectly," and this is just an edge case I thought of. It could happen. So, I mean, the nice thing is we have good staff, and I'm sure that you guys would be willing to go work with the resident when that happens. But I guess, sorry, I may have taken too much time on this hypothetical.
I think that's a problem we got now.
Yeah.
Because it goes to the Holiday Justice Court and it goes through the same process. This is just going to be our process.
Yeah.
Civil.
And if I were to go out there and I'll take a photograph of the violation at 2 p.m., the following day I'm going to take another violation or another picture of the violation. If that resident called me up and explained that situation to me, I would take a deep dive into those photographs to see, is there
wheels
any,
move. Yeah.
is the car closer to the curb? Is it farther away from the curb? Is it 3 feet closer? There's a lot of things that we can do there. If we really can't tell and it looks like that car is parked in the exact same spot, we would recommend that they appeal. And then it would basically stop that enforcement on that case right then, and they would come into the next ALJ. But to answer your question, it's $50 per violation. So these aren't like our code cases where they go $50 per day and keep racking up. These would just be the $50.
Okay.
And just to be clear on that one, really that one is just when someone calls and complains, because you're not driving around saying, well, that car is always parked right there and giving a ticket.
That would be.
Because, I mean, there are oftentimes.
I would say most of the city street ones would be resident complaint and
And that just gives a timeline from when
Right,
there's
am
a
I-
warning and we're asking them to move it.
Yeah, and across the board, all of our code cases are complaint based. That's how we get 99% of them. If we do, you know, are driving through a neighborhood and we find something that's really bad, we'll start our own case. But for over 99% of our cases, they all come through the resident portal.
so I'm envisioning where the parking enforcement is going to be proactive is along the Woonarf and along these chambers and, yeah,
And those places, I think, would make a lot of sense to sign them.
yes. Yeah, we're not, yeah.
Yep.
And I would consider signing bike lanes. That'd probably be a good idea.
Yeah, just, I mean, if there's-
Signing
The
like Wasatch
problem-
Boulevard.
The problem areas, yeah.
Yeah. And then I think, we can periodically run things in the either weekly or monthly newsletter just as an occasional, the same way that we do whenever, every year around winter when we remind people can't park on the street when there's snow.
yeah. Okay.
We'll bring it back.
Thank you. I know this was a lot of
It was
work.
a thorough
I'm-
discussion. Thank
yeah.
you, everybody.
No, and thank you for answering my long, drawn-out question.
All right.
Okay. Moving on to number 5, reports. We had our legislative update from the Spatafores, and thanks to Tom and Francis and Mike for monitoring that and being active in our legislative policy committee. Let's see, I attended a Promise 100% initiative discussion with some outside partners, Blue Meridian, who are looking at their philanthropic investment group that is considering the Promise programs in United Way for donation. And so we're hoping that moves on and we can see some partnership with them. I attended a standards of cover meeting with our Unified Fire just to look at Millcreek standards of cover and how they do in responding to calls and their time. And we have really good service from our Unified Fire, and I think our residents recognize that, and it's just nice to see that if there is an emergency, that they really can get to a resident's home pretty quickly to offer aid. We've been ongoing budget discussions with both UFA and UPD. UFA's looking at they have some needs. They would love to get some money for a new fire training facility to do some upgrades at their current facility. How many of you have done fire school?
It's on the 27th.
You're going?
I'm going on the 27th.
Okay.
Going as well.
Oh, you are too? It's really, it's good.
informative.
It's hard work. Just walking around in those fire uniforms.
Way to sell it.
It's hard. It's
Hard work.
good. No, it makes you appreciate. It makes you appreciate the job they do and what it takes to do that. But take a look at the fire training facility. They'll probably talk to you all about it. But that's something that they're asking for, and maybe a budget issue. I don't know if all this year or what, but that's something they're looking at. We had our Try It Abilities Day last week. Jamie Wilner organized it. It was great, but it was really windy. It was a really, really windy day. So we had several Special Olympians and out here doing skating, and they had some really cool kind of like scooter things on that they could skate on, and
They're called sleds. Yeah.
sleds. Yeah,
We actually have 2 here.
yeah.
The city does.
So it was fun to see people come out and enjoy it, and thanks to Jamie for the work she put into getting it organized. We like to see everybody enjoy the ice and enjoy our great facility here. So we're glad that it's extended to people of all abilities to give them opportunity. And then we just wrapped up Black History Month and all of the various events. Thanks to Miriam Dickerson for all her hard work in getting things planned and organized. I heard a lot of compliments from people at the events and things that they were so grateful to Millcreek for hosting, for recognizing the importance of these events, and for being a space where their community could be celebrated. So thanks to Miriam and for everybody who helped with that. Any other reports?
I had program design committee for the Community Renewable Energies program. It is taking further and further closer to us, I guess. It's inching further and further closer to us. We got draft legislation in or draft ordinances in today for each city that we need to go and pass before June 7th. So that'll be something coming up in the next couple of months. And we also did, I think all of us were here for the tough open house that we had on last Tuesday. And I also attended the Millcreek Community Council.
The only thing I have is that held our Central Wasatch Commission Funding Committee, which is one of the 2 committees that I sit on for that board membership. And just as a reminder, we have consistently been giving our portion of 75,000. So since we're talking budget, 75,000 is what we always have given for our part in Central Wasatch Commission, and that is obviously what we would hope to ask Mill Creek again to support. And then we heard from Lindsay tonight. That's all I've got.
Mayor, I would say Wooford, Wasatch Front Waste and Recycling, is doing a public hearing. It's actually the same time as our council meeting next week on their fee schedule because they're adding new services. So it's not an additional tax, but the city or the district is now collecting tires, mattresses, and appliances as kind of an
And
on-call.
it looks like they're lowering the price for some curbside services. Is that correct?
They're playing with a lot. So yeah,
I mean, it looks like it was going down, like for both curbside garbage and recycling. That's why I'm asking, because I want to
Tom
make
might be more the expert on that because they have said they're not changing the monthly fee because
Okay.
it went up recently.
Yeah, and we did that in 24,
Right.
I want to say. I didn't see that.
Okay, so I must have been looking at something else. That's why I clarified.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be nice if things went down.
Sure would.
Anybody else?
Well, Councilmember Handy and I went to change the world with her, which is a very sweet event hosted by Curly Me. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, in
It was-
honor
it was
of
fun.
International Women's
Yeah,
Day.
Women's Day.
Nice.
It was a good event. They
Thank
just
you for
they had a lot of
representing.
kids. Yeah.
That's great. Okay, anything else? Anything else from staff?
Nope.
Okay. Item 6.1.
Motion to approve item 6.1.
Second.
Motion by Bev, second by Tom. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, anything else? Upcoming meetings, we have Historic Preservation Commission on the 12th, Planning Commission on the 18th, and our next city council meeting on the 23rd. We will have another tough open house the first week in April. We had about 12 people, I think, attend, and hopefully this next one, we can get a little more word out and engagement, but I thought it was really good and productive to talk with people and to kind of hear their thoughts and concerns about our roads and our possible solutions to address them.
I agree.
When are there 3 of them?
There's 3. There'll be another one in the big
Two
first
more.
week in May. So the next one is February. Good
May.
grief, going
3rd.
backwards is April 3rd. No, it's not the 3rd.
No.
It's the 2nd. It's a Thursday. And then the one in May is
4th Monday.
It's
Is that
4th.
right? Yeah.
So I know they were on different days of the week because we were trying to kind of catch, if people had a work schedule or something didn't allow.
I had it on April 2nd. Is that not right?
Is that a Thursday?
That is a Thursday.
Yes, that's
Okay.
when it is. And I don't remember the date for the May one. Do you remember, Mike?
It's the very first part. I want to say May
The 4th is my invite from the
4th.
May the 4th be
Yes.
with you.
Okay. There we go.
Special. Yes.
It's cool. Mike has even said he's dressing up as Chewbacca for it.
I have a full-blown movie-grade stormtrooper costume, if you'd like to wear it.
I would like you to wear it.
I'm too short.
Actually, you
I'm
do.
too short.
You do look a little short for a stormtrooper.
I am. But it would fit you nicely. Just
No,
putting it out
no.
there,
I think I'm a
Tom.
little bit tall for a stormtrooper. I'd be the guy in episode 4 who hits his head on the door.
Okay. No need for a closed session?
Not after that.
No? So motion to
Okay.
adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.